Hello everyone, and welcome to a video on Hypothetical Requiem stands. In this video, I'll be presenting some stands that I have thought up some Requiem powers for, but I want to put a little disclaimer at the start. I know that when it comes to stand Requiems, it depends on the situation, the user's mindset, what's going on, a bunch of other factors, the original powers, all that. But I have tried to stay true to that concept. But for some, especially some in the future, it is just way too difficult to try and think up a scenario that would be fitting for them achieving a Requiem and think about an ability beyond that. Alright, so enough disclaimers, we have limited time, let's go. First off, Echoes Act 4 / Echoes Lost for Words. I took a picture of my list here so I won't have to keep pausing the video and looking, but the ability I thought for Echoes Act 4 is two abilities. The first is sound mimicry. So essentially, if Koichi heard a sound, he could activate his stand and copy it up to a certain point. You know, a certain point in the past. He can't, like, hear something 3 years ago, activate Act 4 that he just got and replicate it. No, it's like an hour or so. Probably less than that. Actually, no, probably more. Requiems are meant to be overpowered. But he could use this to essentially copy the sounds of others. But something else that I thought of is vocal commands. See, Echoes Act 1, and I believe it's Act 1 or Act 2, but one of them can, I think it's Act 1, can affect people with sound. You know, like the kanji that he makes appear. Or he can make them do certain things. My idea is Echoes Act 4 simply speaks, gives a command, and the person it's targeted towards has to obey it. And the situation for this Requiem is, I guess, his fight against Yoshikage Kira. Okay, so next, Crazy Diamond Requiem / Crazy Diamond Right On. For this one I just put Unlimited Fixing. Because really, Crazy Diamond doesn't have a glaring weakness. Pretty much its only weakness is that it's similar to Star Platinum, but can't do everything that he can, so in that sense he doesn't really have a major weakness. The only weakness is that Crazy Diamond can't cure diseases, can't bring people back from the dead. Now, I do like the caveat for stands that they can't revive the dead, so I'm keeping that one for now. But my idea is that he would be able to fix anything that is not that. So let's say you have a permanent disfigurement, like Okuyasu's father. He could fix that. You have a disease. He can fix that. You're a vampire. He can fix it. Basically, everything that Crazy Diamond previously couldn't fix, he can now fix, excluding death. Because I like having that caveat. And that's basically it. Again, he doesn't have that many weaknesses. Alright, this one, the hand Requiem / the hand Forever Young, was hard to think of at first, because I couldn't think, like, what major weaknesses does the hand have? Originally I thought of making him able to extend his scraping attack, but then I thought he can teleport. He doesn't need to do that. Like, that's one of Okuyasu's main things. He can scrape away the air and teleport things to him, or teleport himself to other things. We don't know how that works, but it's JoJo. You're not meant to question it. But I did remember a weakness, specifically that he had against Red Hot Chili Pepper, which is that if he accidentally scrapes something the wrong way, or makes a mistake, and in this example, he scraped the ground and revealed a power line which allowed for Red Hot Chili Pepper to escape. So my idea for this is that he can essentially, you know that reverse button that you have in like MS Paint and other drawing programs to just undo a mistake? It's basically that. Say he scrapes away and reveals the power cable. Well, he can like snap, or I guess clasp his hands would be a more fitting action, and then reverse the scrape that he just made. So in this case with the power line, he reveals the power line, clasps his hands, power line's not there anymore, Red Hot Chili Pepper is gonna continue getting his ass beat. But yeah, like Crazy Diamond, he didn't have any major weaknesses, and that was pretty much the only one I could think of, aside from just giving him some wacky new ability that he didn't really need. Oh, and the last Requiem with Crazy Diamond, was when Aqua Necklace killed his father. And this one, I guess, would be against Red Hot Chili Pepper. Okay, this one was the most difficult to design out of the Diamond is Unbreakable ones. Oh, and I forgot to mention at the start, I'm starting with Diamond is Unbreakable because that's when Requiems were introduced, with Killer Queen Bites the Dust, because that actually is a Requiem stand, technically speaking. So, I don't fully know how Heaven's Door ability works. Also, the name's Heaven's Door Requiems / Heaven's Door back pages. But I will admit, I do not fully know how Heaven's Door works, like what its ability really is. I just know that it has something to do with showing pages or Rohan writing in the air. So the only thing I could really think of is along the lines of Act 4's ability that I thought of, which is activating its effect through speech. So like Rohan goes on like a fancy man monologue that he does sometimes, and he can activate his effect through that. Now, I know that sounds OP, but Requiems are meant to be OP, because they're meant to be the most powerful form that a stand can take, excluding stuff in the new universe. But yeah, since I don't really understand Heaven's Door's ability, this is the best I can come up with. I would love for you guys to post your own ideas in the comments below, you know, if you want to. So next up is, if it'll load, there we go, Harvest Requiem / Harvest What It's Worth. Okay, for this one, my idea is like stealing, obviously, that's Harvest's thing. However, it would be able to steal non-physical things. We're going along the lines of Snatch from Seven Deadly Sins, Bond's ability. You know, Harvest could, like, grab onto your body and start sapping away your strength and giving it to itself, or to Shigechi. Sap away your speed, your willpower, your intelligence, your memories, stuff like that. And, yeah, this would obviously be insanely powerful, and no, I'm not going to go on that. Well, I might as well. Requiems are meant to be OP, but also Shigechi is not the brightest. Let's call a spade, he's an idiot. But he probably would not use this ability to its fullest, so y'all can rest easy with that at least. But yeah, if his ability were used correctly, and like efficiently, it would probably be one of the most overpowered abilities, because he could like steal away stand powers. Heck, he could probably just steal away stands. But again, Shigechi is not the brightest, so he probably wouldn't use it very effectively. And for the most part, that's it. Except we have a special inclusion, because I had thought of Star Platinum Requiem's ability while I was making Diamond is Unbreakable stuff. So I decided I would just go ahead and reveal what I thought about that, because I'm doing Stardust Crusaders next anyway, and so I'll include as many Stardust Crusader characters that I can. But, oh yeah, and for Shigechi it's against Kira, I guess, and for Rohan, I don't know, against, what was his name? Cheap Trick. Cheap Trick or Josuke. For this one is against Dio, specifically High Dio. You know, after taking Jonathan's blood, that's the, I guess, common name used for that, is High Dio. But Star Platinum Requiem's abilities are Natural Hormone and Time Manipulation. And I'll get into that second one in a second, because you're probably thinking, oh, he already has that. But obviously, in this case, his desire would be to defeat Dio. You know, to take Dio down. That's his goal. So, and Hormone and stands are said to be different expressions of the same energy. Or that was with spin and stands, but I think it was with both. But, so it's not out of the question that Star Platinum, with an evolution, could possibly learn how to emit Hormone energy, considering they're the same energy, just expressed in different ways. And Hormone can lead to unlocking a stand, specifically Hermit Purple. But with this ability, he'd be able to infuse his punches, his with Hamon to deal increased damage to Dio, and, block using Hamon, so Dio has to be more cautious when attacking him. But what about the second one? Well, one of the weaknesses he had against Dio, which he easily overcame because Jotaro's a genius, is Dio had a longer, Zawardo time limit than him, and he had to keep working around that. Well, with this Requiem, he's able to manipulate time, fast forward it, slow it down, make Dio think he has more time than he does, then, fast forward, Dio loses, a second or two, gets caught off guard. And he could also do this by, slowing down time during his time stop. I know that sounds redundant, but he stops time, slows it down, so he gives himself essentially double the time. Also, I'm putting air quotes around time manipulation. Time manipulation. Which is essentially, manipulating time even during a time stop. So let's say, a time... Well, no, I'm not going to say time skip. I was going to bring up King Crimson, but that's a completely different thing. And you're not aware of when a skip is happening, so he wouldn't be able to use the ability then, although, I guess if Star Platinum Requiem was conscious, like Gold Experience Requiem, he probably could. But essentially with his ability, he'd be able to manipulate time even during a time stop. So again, Dio stops time, he slows it down, confuses Dio's perception of how much time has been stopped, and that essentially gives him the upper hand against other time-manipulating foes. And also, if he isn't able to activate Zawardo because he just used it and it's still during cooldown, but he needs to, get around stuff, he can just, snap, slow down time. Now he's essentially moving at super ultra speed. Don't know why that was my first thought of what to call it, but he's fast-forwarding time, or slowing down time, so he appears much faster to everyone else, and he can land hits on them with essentially stop time. Now the caveat to this tower is that he cannot use it to just outright stop time. He can speed up time, he can reverse time, slow down time, but he cannot stop time with this ability. Now he can still use Zawardo, but he cannot use his this new time manipulation ability to stop time. I hope that makes it clear. And that's the end of the video. To be continued in Stardust Crusaders.